any process that was set up by the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee to deal with those allegations, coupled with the minister's denial, at least of this one allegation? You say there were more allegations or more revelations that were made, but the point is, did the Portfolio Committee act on these allegations? Did they set up a process, or what indication did they say or give by way of their intervention in addressing those, if any?
No, Commissioner. There wasn't any process that I know of, unless they did something alone as a committee. But what I'm aware of, there was nothing that was done by the committee.
Yes, I'm asking of that meeting. Was there an indication, perhaps, to say the committee is going to set up a process to look into the allegations?
No.
On that day?
No, on that day, no. The meeting just ended. There was no such a way forward in terms of what the committee is going to do on those matters.
Mr. Matau?
Yes.
Can we just take it one step back?
Yes.
General, how did it come about that you specifically appeared before the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee? We've heard from General Mchunu how it came about that he appeared there. So I want to know about you specifically. Were you invited by the committee to appear, or did you request the committee that time be given for you to make a presentation? I just want clarity on that. How did it come about that on the day, 5 March 2025, you appeared before the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Police?
There was an invite, Commissioner, for myself, the Minister, and to attend the others. But we were invited to that meeting, all of us, myself, Minister, and General Mchunu.
And were you asked to address specifically the issue of the disbandment of the task team?
Yes, we were asked specifically. If I may go back to, let me see. Yeah, on the invite, the committee, as on page paragraph 134 of my statement, the committee want a briefing, among others, on the status of the PKTT and the work that they were doing. So we had to brief them on what PKTT is, where it comes from, what is it doing, and also the fact that for us, we are of the view that the team is doing a good work. So yes, they called us. Among the topics was to brief them on the PKTT status.
And did you address them on the minister's letter dated 31 December 2024?
Yes, the letter was one of the matters that we addressed in that meeting, and they engaged us, and they seems to have been happy with the status that was prevailing that time. There wasn't one of them, as far as I remember, that suggested that the team should continue or is doing a good work. No, we advised them, they were happy, and
Thank you, Mr. Matau.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. So, in respect of that status, when you say they were happy with the status that was prevailing at the time, what was the status at the time?
Well, some of them I wouldn't specifically know unless one goes to the recording of that day. I do remember that maybe one member or so that said, no, they agree with the minister that the team must disband. So that I can remember,
Yeah.
despite us showing them the work that the team was doing.
And was there any other view to the contrary that was expressed in respect of disbandment?
I don't remember. I don't remember any.
Okay. All right. Let's go then to paragraph 135, where you deal with the meeting of 6 March, which you said earlier you will address.
Okay. On the 6th of March 2025, I attended a meeting in Cape Town. In attendance in the meeting was the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, the Deputy National Commissioners, both policing and crime detection, Lieutenant General Msikiri and Lieutenant General Sibia, Lieutenant General Dumisani Kumalo, the Chief of Staff of the Office of the Minister, Mr. Nkabinde, Lieutenant General Sintumule, and there was a Lieutenant Colonel together with us. In preparation for this meeting, Lieutenant General Kumalo prepared an updated presentation on the PKTT. The presentation is annexed as SFM 12. After the meeting, Lieutenant General Dumisani Kumalo presented, or during the briefing, presented the briefing note to the Minister and the Deputy Commissioner Policing. After Lieutenant General Kumalo presented the briefing note to the Minister, the Deputy Commissioner Policing and I, in other words, he was presenting. So after the presentation, myself and the Deputy of Policing were in favor that the plan by the Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection and the Chief of Staff. Actually, let me put it this way. I think it's something went out here. During the briefing, myself and the Deputy Commissioner for Policing were in favor that, well, if you end up now, if you agree to the winding down, the dockets of the task team can go to the Provincial Commissioner KZN. At the province, there is a unit called Murder and Robbery Unit, which is not fully staffed. So we can then send the dockets there, send members of the PKTT that are from KwaZulu-Natal to form part of that unit at the province for Murder and Robbery Unit. So that's where I'm saying then the Deputy Commissioner for Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Sibia, and the Chief of Staff, Mr. Nkabinde, were against that plan, and they were also against this winding down. They wanted immediate disbandment of the team, and also the fact that they wanted that the dockers mustn't go to province, because they say if the dockers go to the province, it's like we are masquerading the PKTT under murder and robbery, which I also asked the question, but so why? What's the problem? What is this eagerness to disband so fast, and you don't even want to see the members together? And they emphasize that no, dockers must go to the police stations of origin.
Yesterday, you dealt with part of the contents of Annexure SFM 12. Just to remind the commissioners, you dealt with 411 to 413. Remember when you asked the question of the 333 dockets, to say where does that come from eventually? And you took the commission through the 333 and how you eventually get to 612.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Then in 136, you deal with the minister's conduct. If I can ask you to proceed from there.
Yeah, the minister's conduct in this meeting and in the general regarding the disbandment was very concerning to me. At this meeting of the 6th of the 6th of March 2025 in Cape Town, when the meeting started, I asked the minister, can you provide this forum or these officers that are here, what is the reason for disbanding this political killings task team? Because we see we are planning disbandment, we are disbandment, you must table a plan. You want immediate disbandment, I suggest the winding down, there's no agreement, but what are the reasons for this disbandment?
General, does that question suggest that it was not clear to you from the letter of 31 December 2024 what the reason was?
Yeah, the reasons on the letter of the 31st of December 2024 was not convincing to me. That you have done assessment. You have done assessment where? With who? That was my problem. So it was not clear, and I couldn't take that as a reason. Hence, I asked him, tell this, before this meeting starts, as we open, tell these officers what are the reasons for the disbandment. And the minister later, not immediately, later in that meeting, he responded that political killings took place somewhere pre-1994 and not after.
But can I ask you, just on that statement, the minister's response is focusing on political killings. To say those were, on what you say was the minister's response, an issue that occurred or took place pre-1994 and not after. And I just want to ask you two questions from there. The one is it correct that post-1994 there were no political killings? And secondly, does that response take into account the extension of the scope or the mandate of the political task team to include matters in Fort Hare and the traditional leaders?
Yeah, if I understand your question correctly.
Okay, let me take it one question at a time.
Yes, I wasn't sure I follow the question.
All right, let me take it one question at a time. Part of what is or what has been dealt with is mention of the fact that the political killings would rise around election time. In other words, they would spike up. You recall that part of your evidence. Now, if these political killings by the minister are said to have taken place pre-1994 and not after, is that statement accurate?
No, that statement is not accurate. The political killings have been taking place, yes, pre-94, even after 94. I worked in KwaZulu-Natal from the year 2000 up to 2010. And during that period, I had a small team that was dealing with the very same political killings. So to keep them under control, you must always have a team working with this type of cases. So it's not true that they happened before. Like he was saying, they happened before 1994. What is happening now is just murders. No, it wasn't just murders. It was murders of politicians, reason being related to politics. It's either within a party about issues of succession or from party to another party. That's what we call political killings. So they were happening after 94, even now they're still happening.
And the second aspect of my question was to deal with the fact that the minister's reason that was provided in that meeting relates only to political killings. Does that statement take into account the fact that the PKTT's mandate had been extended to include the investigation of murders at the Fort Hare University, killing of traditional leaders?
Obviously, I don't know whether during his assessment also he went as far as those extensions, but I will take it that he must have done that, and which means actually when you disband the team, all cases of Fort Hare are going to collapse. But I wouldn't know, but whether he had went as far as that or taken that into account, that the PKTT was not only doing political killings in KZN, its mandate was extended to Eastern Cape for the university and subsequently also in KwaZulu-Natal to investigate traditional leaders' killings. So I wouldn't know whether you have done that.
All right, proceed. You say during the meeting? The fourth line? Fourth line of paragraph 136?
Fourth line.
During the meeting?
Yeah, during the meeting, the presentation of Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo was partially accepted.
Can I just ask you to explain that? What does that mean?
By partially accepted, I mean that, I remember at this meeting we are going to present a plan which would have been signed off by the minister. So because there were matters in the presentation that were not agreed to by the minister and other parties. For example, one of them was that dockets must go to murder and robbery of the province, and there was those that were against to say they must go, especially General Sibia and Gabinde, that they must go back to station of origin. So that has to be amended. And also, during this meeting, it was asked then, how far is this team then going to go on with its lifespan? I said, well, as long as the work is there, it will go on. Then it was a no-no, even by the minister, that no. The team's lifespan cannot go beyond 2025. It must end in 2025. So those were some of the critical amendments that made the plan not to be accepted, but partially accepted. The wind down was partially accepted, but that go and change those things to make sure that the team go as far as this current, its lifespan goes to as far as this current 2025.
So the partial acceptance is at least that there was no immediate disbandment, but the winding down had to be completed in the year 2025.
That was correct. And nevertheless,
yes,
the meeting concluded that